We'll take it from here.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of We'll Take It From Here. This episode's going to be Smokin Aces, or Smokin Aces, excuse me.
Smokin.
I am...
Apostrophe.
I am Cuban Thor, a.k.a. Holden.
And this is Father Malone, also known as Michael.
All right, Michael, if you want, let's get into our happenings.
Happenings.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Let me tell you what's gonna happen.
What's happening, Holden?
What's happening? So let's talk about Star Trek Discovery. What did you think about the trailer? It looks great to me.
I think it looks really good, too.
I really enjoy the fact that we have a female lead in both regards, as the captain and as the main character of the story. It's the first Star Trek series that's going to be focusing on not a captain.
Not a captain for the first time, but it's the first officer, I believe.
Yeah, the first officer. So I'm sure there's going to be, the captain's going to basically be the co-star, Michelle Yeoh.
Yes,
is the co-star.
which is great.
The visuals are just really stunning. It's kind of something like they are taking the movie visuals and just bringing it to, what, CBS On Demand or something like that?
I think that's what they're going
Yeah,
with,
it's like CBS Direct, and it's coming, I think they said this fall. They're gonna
Yes,
release
hurry up already.
first season.
We've
I
been
know,
talking
I
about it for
really
years
look
now.
forward to it. Did you see that image of Mira from Aquaman?
I did.
She looks fantastic.
Yeah,
Right out of the comic book.
Yeah, super comic book accurate.
You know, and then they had that Justice League trailer out a little while ago, and Aquaman was in that.
Mm-hmm.
He looks pretty good there, but I feel like if Mara's going to look like that, green,
Yeah.
in costume, I wonder if they're going to do the same thing with Aquaman.
Well, there was a photo released of like a maquette for a toy or something for the Aquaman standalone film, and his outfit looks much more accurate.
Really?
Yeah, the yellow up top, the green pants kind of thing. Not so armored either. Like,
Right.
Much closer to what Mira looks like.
Kind of like a wetsuit feel than a full-fledged thing of armor.
Yeah, which
That's
is
rad.
Yeah, it's great. I hope
Yeah.
they go with it because I miss the old Aquaman outfit.
I could be without the orange shirt. That orange shirt doesn't bother me, but I think if they do get rid of the orange shirt, you need to have like the green pants. Like they need some sort of connection.
Absolutely.
Because it never made any sense to me. Why are you underwater in a shirt? I mean,
Well,
it's
that's
technically
true.
scales,
That's
right?
true,
They're
right.
supposed to help him underwater or
Sure,
something like that.
somehow.
Yeah, something crazy. It's Aquaman. He talks to fish. Like, guys, come on.
Still a good character. I like Aquaman.
It's great.
I'm actually more partial to Namor the Submariner over there in Marvel. but-
Namor is. I know the best thing about Namor is that he's the asshole character of the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
Like, anytime you want somebody to be an asshole, just put Namor.
Yeah, man, just have him show up. He'll be a prick to everybody.
Everybody. All right, as we go on with our happenings, we have a casting of Jack Kessie. I'm not really too familiar with him. He's going to be Black Tom Cassidy in the Deadpool 2, who also has Josh Brolin as Cable, and of course Ryan Reynolds.
So is he the main villain now?
That's what it's rumored. Black Tom Cassidy is probably like a BC wrong X-Men villain. He uses the latent energy from wood to create concussive blasts, and later on, yeah, it's ridiculous. He carries a shillelagh with him at all times. He's supposed to talk in a very thick Irish accent. And he does this really stereotypical Irish thing, carrying a shillelagh.
Fantastic. So we're going to get a lot of Ryan Reynolds making fun of the Irish.
Oh man, you know what? I'm down. Why not? But then he's also the cousin of Banshee, so yeah, like the classic X-Men hero.
Why is
Banshee.
everyone related to everybody? It's really weird.
You know, I actually don't mind this part because Banshee was heavy Irish, so now he's like a cousin of Banshee. It kind of makes sense. The mutant gene runs in the family.
Right.
I mean, that makes a little sense, I would suppose. And then later on, actually, he kind of becomes Marvel's Swamp Thing kind of villain. He basically becomes a humanoid plant. He's an odd character, and I'm actually kind of excited this character's going to be on...
Well, it's good they're reaching out and they're
gonna be
trying to
on,
get
like,
characters that aren't necessarily the most well-known.
Yeah, like, this character's going to be a movie. Like, who would have thought 10 years ago we would have had, like, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Black Tom Cassidy, like, these really random Marvel characters.
I wouldn't have
popping up in
even
movies.
expected a Deadpool.
No, certainly not, especially with how vulgar it was at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
He's lightened up a little bit, but he's still pretty vulgar. And actually, this Jack Kessie guy is going to be in a Bruce Willis movie, the Death Wish remake, who Eli Roth is doing.
Oh, the fantastic Eli Roth. He's so good.
A little sense
Everything
of,
he does is so fantastic.
I got a sense that you don't like this guy.
I like him as an actor. I liked him in Inglourious Bastards.
He was fantastic in
He's really good in that role.
Well, that's a great movie, and obviously you have a great director directing him.
Right. Who thanks Quentin for foisting Eli Roth on the rest of us.
Oh man,
Like, this is the vanguard of horror movies these days.
But Bruce Willis is in it. I mean, lately I'm not the biggest fan of Bruce Willis, but this sounds interesting. The Death Wish movies, like, they started off really serious, and didn't they go kind of comedic?
Oh my god, they went ridiculous.
Yeah?
The first film is an attempt, in some way, to sort out the public's feelings about vigilantism.
Okay.
And then the second one was just a kind of a cash grab, and by the time they did number 3, man, it was just like, let's watch Charles Bronson shoot a bunch of punks.
It was a B movie, basically.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a B movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could argue the first film was a B movie, but it was a B movie yearning to be something more.
Right.
By number 3, 4, 5, oh, jeez,
So
just terrible.
They kind of took the satire angle a little too hard, then, huh?
I don't know that there was any satire left by the end. I think it was just like, literally like, let's watch him shoot people.
Well, I mean, I remember watching the first one. I actually kind of dug the movie, and then I haven't watched any of the sequels. I didn't even know there were sequels, to be completely honest. There's like 5 of them or something. That's crazy. I think that's all I got for happenings.
Well, you should mention that Death Wish was actually written by Joe Carnahan, who almost directed it, who is the director of our feature.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. I totally forgot about that. That was a good pull. He did Smokin Aces. Like, there's not much else to say.
Yeah.
What else has he done? Do you know of anything else?
Yeah, he did the A-Team.
Oh, A-Team. You know, I really liked that, actually.
I did like
it.
it.
It was
I liked
pretty
it, too.
solid, yeah. The
Yeah.
only thought I have about that movie that was negative was Jessica Biel's in it. I'm not the biggest fan.
I like Jessica Biel.
Fair enough. I didn't think her character was exactly necessary to that story. Like, you have just basically a good-looking woman to be a love interest for Face,
Right.
a.k.a. Bradley Cooper. I don't think she was necessary. Like, she wasn't a villain. She was kind of just like the in on the good side.
Yeah, because of the characters who were supposed to be good, they were all corrupt. She was the only incorruptible one. So
Yeah.
I think she was necessary for that movie.
Speaking of that movie,
Yeah.
great cast. Except
Yes.
for me, like, I didn't like Jessica Biel, but the rest of that movie, every A-Team member represented extremely well. Liam Neeson, Bradley Cooper,
Sharlto Copley, yeah.
And Rampage Jackson plays Mr.
B.A.
T.
Baracus,
Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
God, he was great. I'm surprised he hasn't been in more things. I think he went strictly back to fighting.
Yeah.
In the UFC. I'm actually surprised he hasn't done more, because he actually was pretty solid in that, and he could have been like a comedic action actor.
I liked him a lot. I like that movie.
great.
I think you and I are in the minority there. Most people don't like that movie at all.
Josh Gad has been teasing people that he might be Penguin in a Batman movie upcoming.
Been seeing that.
Yeah, you know, I'm
Why is he the one?
I'm 50-50 on him. He might be good. He might also suck. I mean, look how they did the Joker. I know you liked that Joker.
I love that Joker.
I personally didn't, and I'm kind of curious how they would do a Josh Gad Penguin. They kind of do it more of the Robin Lord Taylor version on Gotham.
You know, when we first got introduced to Robin Lord Taylor as the Penguin, I was like, this is the Penguin? And
Right.
now, 3 seasons in, I can't imagine anyone but him being the Penguin. You know, look, we've had the Penguin being a squat, sort of round guy for 70-odd years now.
Not just round, rotund.
Yeah.
Like Danny DeVito was
Well, Danny DeVito was a
half-circle.
blueberry, yeah.
Oh my goodness. He was straight out of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
You know, but then we had Burgess Meredith in the 60s TV
Right,
series,
right.
who was not that fat at all.
No, he
was
kinda played
he
it
was
like
just
a
a tiny guy with a big top hat.
Yeah, like a rich sociopath or something like that.
Yeah, and you know, with Gotham, they not only is Robin Lord Taylor like fantastic in the role, but they made him a crime boss again. Like, they kind of forget about these characters, that most of them are organized crime members.
Yeah, he is probably the only character on that show that I could see a adult Bruce Wayne taking on, because he is in his 30s, 40s, age-wise when it comes to his look, and he could get bigger and more rotund, if you will.
That's true.
And be more of a stocky mob boss. as
Although
opposed to-
this season the Riddler comes into his own. He actually takes on the mantle of the Riddler. He
Really?
calls himself the Riddler now. Everyone knows who he is.
you
and
know, that actor who plays the Riddler, I've really enjoyed over the course of a couple seasons of Gotham.
he's great.
Yeah, he's great. I think the rest of the show kind of falters at times.
It has in the past. I thought this season was really, really
I
good.
have a love-hate relationship with Jim Gordon on that show.
Yeah, because that guy, Ben McKenzie,
Because I really liked him in the first season.
anytime he tries to be like a tough guy, it just makes me want to laugh.
Yeah, because he's...
Oh, no, it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And like, dude, you're not Christian Bale. Don't be Christian Bale.
I think that show is a lot of fun with itself. I think it pushes itself to go do something ridiculous and different. And I think the fans of that show are very passionate about it. But I can see the show's getting a fifth season. They're getting a fifth season, I believe. Fourth season.
You know what's funny is I'm not spoiling anything, but you can tell with the end of this season that they did not know if they were coming back, because if they wanted to, they could wrap it up. Like it could be the end, and it was a satisfying ending.
But I think you had characters on this show that really I personally didn't like. I don't know about everybody else, but like
who?
Jada Pinkett Smith's character.
Oh, I hated her.
Fish Mooney.
I hated her.
Oh my god.
But then I just hate Jada Pinkett Smith.
The worst.
She's terrible, right?
The worst character.
Okay.
And you know what was funny? The first season, you have a whole season of her, right, where she is alive, and in the second season, it's the whole Hugo Strange angle where she comes back to life.
Yeah, which I was so sad when they brought her back.
God.
They bring her back again this season.
So is she going to be back next season?
No.
Thank God. And then they have Barbara Keene.
I love Barbara Keene.
I think she developed into a great character.
Yeah, at first she was sort of a wishy-washy character, but once she went insane.
I just wish her name wasn't Barbara.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly, because every time you say Barbara and she's involved with Jim Gordon, you think Barbara Gordon, bad girl. And I assumed that she was just going to be the one who marries him.
Yeah.
But no.
You know, I would like maybe we have in
She's probably going to be Harley.
4.
She's probably going to be Harley.
That'd be horrible. If you do Harley, you gotta have Harleen Quinzel as a character. I don't think that's fair to a character who's extremely popular all of a sudden be written in as another person.
Well, that's true, but they've been fairly fast and loose with their interpretation of the Joker, and I gotta say, of every Joker we've ever gotten, I like this one the best.
That
kid,
a live action you're referring to.
Yeah,
of course, Mark Hamill's animated Joker is bar none the best.
No, I disagree with that.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're wrong.
No, I mean, you know what? I like Mark Hamill's Joker, and look, we all grew up with listening to it, so we're partial to him and everything. But
his laugh though is the best Joker laugh.
Is it?
It's the most iconic, easily.
Well, that's just because it's been around long.
No, it's not, because it's the best.
Well, I disagree with you, man.
Well, I'll sit there and say, portrayal in a movie, you have Heath Ledger, right? Like, I don't think we'll have Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger.
I did not like Jack Nicholson's performance as the Joker.
Well, I really did. I like his kind of wacky take on it.
I thought he was a fat old man, and that's not what I want from the Joker.
Well, wacky.
I mean, I think Cesar Romero's performance of the Joker in the Batman 60s TV series is better than Jack Nicholson's performance.
Well, I mean,
I don't think Jack Nicholson had any idea who that character was.
I don't think he does either, but I still think it was portrayed okay.
It was okay.
And I like
it's okay. It's good. I mean, it works for that particular movie.
Heath Ledger, I mean, he's the driving force of that movie. He's the best part of that movie. He's the only reason to watch The Dark Knight.
You know, I have said, and I will maintain, that as good as he is, I thought the writing for that particular Joker was as close to the character should be.
Yeah.
So I think other actors could have performed that part, and you would have gotten the same effect. There are little ticks and stuff that he does that bother me in that movie, and I'm not 100% still sold on the sort of bad scarring, bad hair dye, bad white makeup applied kind of thing. You know, they write it off at the beginning. They're like, oh, it's like war paint. Like, you know what? I like my Joker as a white individual with green hair.
Oh, well, I think what it was Nolan's take of, like, a realistic Batman, so you have to have kind of like a realistic Joker.
It's gritty. Everything's so gritty and realistic.
Thanks, Nolan, for ruining DC characters from the future.
Man.
He made 3 pretty good movies, and then he ruined the rest of the DC characters, because DC decided to sit there and be like, everything Nolan-like. Yeah. Let's go that route.
Yeah, it really did set the tone for the rest of them. Like, well, those were so successful. And that's the opposite of what Marvel is doing. Let's continue to do that. Like, no, don't do that, please.
They pulled up Pirates and they just kept it going along too much,
man. I mean, you know, and we've never really talked about this, but Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, which is the longest, stupidest title in history. Their version of Batman is just so bad, man. He's branding people and, like, just wantonly killing everybody. Like, get out of here.
Well, don't even say...
I don't have a problem. Look, I don't have a problem with Batman killing people.
Yeah.
Because it has to happen. I mean, he tries not to, but you got to do it every once in a while. But he's just randomly wasting people in these movies.
I will say
it's like the central tenet of who Batman is, that he doesn't want to kill anybody. And they're just like, fuck that. He just machine gun a bunch of people, run people over.
And Batman doesn't use guns either. But I think the point of Batman and Batman v Superman, not to get too much into
Batman
movie,
v Superman.
Batman v Superman, is that it was a Batman who kind of lost his way. And Did the movie really establish that? Not really.
Not at all.
No, it didn't. They had one scene where they showed a beat-up Robin suit, and that was apparently all your clues to where this guy is a Batman that's kind of lost
So do you
his
think
path.
that the Joker that we have now, the Jared Leto Joker, do you think that's Robin?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. It would be an interesting twist.
I think it is.
I would like to have it where it's in current continuity. They explain that Joker is actually 3 different characters. Mm-hmm. You have your wacky, zany one, you have your gritty, murderous one, and you have like kind of a one that's in between, the intellectual Joker that you get every once in a while, written in comics. And Batman over the years has been fighting 3 different Jokers, and I like this idea. Mm-hmm. I think they could apply it to the movie very easily and make it where it's a movie. If they do a Joker movie, you have to kind of up the ante, and that will be upping the ante with this future of Batman and the Joker. You have to address the Joker if you're going to keep up a Batman franchise. I think you could also do it in a Nightwing movie where you can kind of bring in ties of the Joker, ties of Red Hood, things like that.
I think Jason Todd is the Joker in these
The
movies.
Jared Leto Joker, you think so?
I think so.
Man, I don't know. It would be a decent and really cool twist if, like, all of a sudden you have a Red Hood vigilante and all of a sudden it's the Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't know if Jared Leto's coming back.
No.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Oh, I think he probably signed up for a bunch of movies.
I kind of hope he does. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Suicide Squad's Joker. I think they could have done a lot more with him in that film because, well, that film's not good.
That film was garbage.
But I will say, if they actually bring him back and kind of redeem him, I'm about it, because I think his look was okay. Not really a big fan of all the facial tattoos.
Right.
But I think his kind of like mobster weird thing. I actually really enjoyed the smiling hand tattoo.
Yeah, that was neat.
That was a cool little quirk to the character. I wish
The
they used
only
it more.
tattoo that I wish they had. Yeah.
I wish they used it more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't use it at all.
No, but they didn't
really
use
weird.
him much. And for a film that advertised him almost 100%, like...
As the main villain,
Yeah.
it totally pulled one out from under you.
Totally, man.
So now let's get into our main topic of Smokin Aces, a movie that has everybody in it.
Yeah, the entire acting community is in
Oh
this
my
movie.
goodness, everybody's in this movie.
It's a never-ending list of people.
I can go on and list some people. Do you want me to go ahead?
No, let me just we'll get into that when we're
Okay.
I mean, it will be here all day if you just start listing
We can just
characters
do
that people don't know.
its own podcast of all these actors in this movie.
Yeah, it's a 20-minute list. It's
crazy.
Basically, the plot of the movie is that there's a guy named Robert Israel Buddy Aces.
Buddy Israel.
Well,
yeah.
well, I mean, his name is Robert. But yeah, they call him Buddy Aces, who is a Las Vegas lounge entertainer, magician, sort of Sammy Davis Jr. type, although really he's patterned after Frank Sinatra. And the idea is that...
Really? That's the aim of the character?
Yeah. It's because Frank Sinatra, sort of famously had mob ties. I'm making air quotes. You can't say it. So he was sort of mixed up with the mob in that played at their clubs and they paid him a lot of money and whatever. So the idea is, like, what if Frank Sinatra had gotten so intoxicated with the mob life? Like, what if he became a mobster himself?
Okay. I thought it was more of like a failed magician, Vegas performer that has ties to the...
No, because he's a big guy. I mean, he's playing on the strip. He's
Oh, see, I thought I must have missed that then, because the couple times I've seen this movie, I always thought he was like not a successful guy at all.
No, he's supposed to be a very successful guy. And I'm saying this not just because I sussed this out on my own, but I read an interview with Joe Carnahan who very specifically said, like, what if Frank Sinatra had become a mobster?
Oh, okay, cool.
So, Buddy Aces Israel, lounge entertainer who gets involved with the mafia and then likes it so much that he becomes a mobster himself, to the point where he rises in power. And at this point in the movie, La Cosa Nostra, the sort of mafia, they tell us at the beginning of the movie that they're basically done. And there are only sort of 2 factions left. It's Buddy and Primo Speranza. And Primo Speranza is this sort of elderly, old-school gangster who's like on his deathbed, and Buddy gets busted, and he turns state's evidence. So Primo Speranza puts out a hit on Buddy. That's the impetus for the entire movie. And he offers $1 million. He wants somebody to kill Buddy and to cut out his heart. Monitoring this are 2 FBI agents played by Ryan Reynolds and Ray Liotta.
Who, both of these guys, love him to death. Ray Liotta is... I feel like he's in so much.
He's in everything.
He's in everything. And Ryan Reynolds is the modern Ray Liotta because he's in everything too.
Fucking everything.
But specifically, most popular, of course, he's Deadpool. He was in that horrible Green Lantern movie.
Yep.
He was in Blade 3.
Don't forget Two Girls, a Guy in a Pizza Place.
Oh, that was him. And then what was that movie he did with Sandra Bullock? The Proposal?
Yes.
Okay, so like famously for those movies, Ray Liotta, I mean, what can you say about this guy?
Yeah, he's great. He was just in this latest season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He's really good in that
Really?
too.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch it then.
Yeah.
And then their boss is Andy Garcia.
Yes.
And of course,
the head of the FBI.
Buddy Israel is Jeremy Piven, famous from Entourage as Ari Gold.
Yep.
Which, God, I hate Entourage so much. But
I do too.
Ari was a great character.
Ari was a really good character, and I run really hot and cold on Jeremy Piven. He seems like a dick, but he's great in this movie.
He's a guy that I felt like never got a big break. Like, because if he maybe.
It's funny because he's well known and he gets tons of breaks, but it always feels like he never got the break he thinks he deserves.
Well, maybe I feel like he's never gotten a movie role where he breaks out. So I wouldn't sit there and say he's a bad actor by any means.
Oh God, no.
He's a fantastic actor. I think maybe one day we'll have like a Michael Keaton like renaissance of Jeremy Piven, and he gets this amazing role and he plays this amazing character, gets an Oscar, and then never comes back.
Yeah.
You know, like that'll be the story.
I'm honestly good with him just never coming back. Which is sad because I think he's a good performer. Anyway.
And as the movie goes on, we have all this huge cast of characters.
Yeah, so what happens is the Primo Speranza puts out the hit on Buddy, offering $1 million, and it's an open contract. So
anybody can collect it. That's what it means, guys. Know your mob terms.
Exactly. So any particular assassin or scumbag who wants to collect $1 million has to go kill Buddy Israel. See, now that's not exactly true because Primo Speranza is very specifically hiring one guy.
Yeah.
And his cohorts within the Speranza crime organization let it be known that other people can come do this.
Yes.
They sort of leak the information that he wants him dead, so they're the ones who actually get the others involved. So you have so many different teams of people. You have, for instance, Taraji P. Henson and Alicia Keys.
Oh, yes. Alicia Keys, I'm surprised how much I really enjoyed her character.
Yeah.
She plays Georgia. And then Taraji P. Henson, which did not even know she was in this movie until I watched it again. She plays Charisse. She has a great 50 cal.
Yeah,
she goes crazy over it.
One character is sort of an infiltrated character, the other one is a sniper.
Yeah.
Taraji P. Henson is the sniper.
And you have the bail bonds people.
Yeah, Jack Dupree, played by Ben Affleck.
Yes, you have Ben
Pistol
Affleck.
Pete, played by Peter Berg.
Peter Berg, who's a really good director.
Really good director.
He started off with The Rundown, did Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and most recently did Patriots Day.
Oh, don't forget about Battleship.
Oh, that horrible movie.
Yeah.
And, okay.
No, he's a solid. He's a solid director. He's
one second tangent on Battleship.
Yeah.
What was the problem with that movie? Was it Taylor Kitsch? Or was it just the script? It was the script, right?
Yeah, it was the script.
Because I feel like Taylor Kitsch is getting a raw deal on some of these movies. I really like John Carter. Anyway, we'll go on.
What'd you think of him as Gambit?
I did not like him as Gambit. I will say
I liked him as Gambit.
I liked John Carter a lot. I would love to do that movie for this podcast, just on the fact that it did not get enough press. It was a fun movie.
So that would be not a movie we would fix.
No.
A movie that we want.
It could definitely be fixed.
Okay.
It could definitely be some things that fixed.
Did Brad Bird direct that movie? I think he did.
I think so. Yes. Yeah. Enough of the tangent of.
Anyway, there were bail bondsmen, Ben Affleck, Peter Berg, and Martin Henderson.
Martin Henderson is one of those guys that I'm like, wait, is that? No, every time I see him in this movie, I think it's a different actor.
He's one of those actors. He's from New Zealand.
He reminds me of that guy that was in that show Fastlane, Peter
Fasinelli.
Yes, like as soon as is that Peter? No, that's not him.
Yeah, Peter Fasinelli.
And then keep going down on these different. There's these different teams that go on. We'll save the best for last.
Yeah.
But to go on, we have Laszlo Soot.
Yeah, there's some individuals also in this. Laszlo Soot, who is who I think is the actual guy who was hired. He's not.
I believe that's what they revealed in the movie. He was the guy who got the actual contract to eliminate the team around Israel.
Yeah, Laszlo Soot is sort of a master of disguise.
Yes.
He transforms himself into a different person to infiltrate and eliminate the people.
Soot is played by Tommy Flanagan, which is from Sons of Anarchy, and most recently, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yeah. He's the guy that dies in space.
very well. Tommy Flanagan's been around forever. He's a great actor.
Oh, fantastic. You know, I would say he's probably one of my favorite character actors. I see him in something, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, this guy is amazing. But I never see
It's
him
the
in
way I
any
used to
role.
feel about Danny Trejo before Danny Trejo started starring in every goddamn
Well, the thing
movie.
about Danny Trejo is we needed some Danny Trejo in this movie. That would be awesome.
he would have been great.
He would have been a great assassin character, just brutalizing people.
You know, I will say this about Danny Trejo. He makes really good tacos. You been to Trejo's Tacos, anybody? It's really good.
Really? Is there one in Vegas?
No, there's one in Los Angeles.
Oh my god. I
Last
have
time
to
I was
check
in
it out.
L.A., we went. It was really good.
Surrounding Israel, we have his kind of like cohorts, his team around him, which includes Common and...
Ivy is the name of the character.
Yeah, see, I enjoy Common
Ivy
so much.
and Beanie and Hugo. Hugo played by
Joel Egerton.
Joel Edgerton.
Do not even call it. I've seen this movie 3
Uncle
times.
Owen.
Did not know it was Joel Egerton.
He's great.
And he's fantastic.
I know, man. He's one of those guys, like, you don't... It's weird. He never really pops into your consciousness, but he's great in every single thing I've seen.
He's just like another guy we're about to talk about, that they just pop in these random movies that you're like, wow, I can't believe how good he is. Like, for example, he was in
I'm
that...
dying to know who you're talking
Oh,
about.
hold on. Let me stick on Joel for a second. He's in that movie Warrior with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie.
Really good.
And then you have...
Recently he was in Black Mass with Johnny Depp.
Right.
He was fantastic in that.
How was that movie, by the way?
Not great.
Not great? Johnny Depp ruined it?
No, I don't. I think no. You know, Johnny Depp went for it, man. I think he did a really good job. The problem for me, this is such a superficial bullshit reason to not like a movie, but he was so intent on like sort of being that character that they gave him blue contact lenses.
Okay.
It's so off-putting. Like every time you look at him, you're just thinking like, those are contact lenses he's wearing. I mean,
It's like me in the first Thor movie with the blonde eyebrows.
yeah, like
I can't deal. Yeah, I can't deal with it. It's very superficial.
It's so stupid to
Yeah.
like to judge a movie. I mean, look, there were other problems with that movie.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But specifically, every single scene, you're just like, yeah, his eyes aren't that color.
Then you have like some surrounding characters. Well, hold on. We forgot somebody. We forgot Mr. Carbonell.
Yes.
He plays Pascal.
Who my wife calls eyebrows.
Eyebrows? I'd call him like a
You should call
mascara.
him, should call him eyeliner.
Man,
because
that dude. He has
and that's
some
natural.
Great mascara, natural mascara on his
Yeah,
eyes.
it's crazy.
He's been on.
What a
he's
beautiful man.
He's a great looking dude. He's done a lot of things. The thing I remember him the most from though was he did a brief stint as a guest character on that TV show Psych.
That's what you remember?
I remember him from I don't really remember him from much else. I know he's done other things.
He was one of the sort of island denizens on Lost. He was a major character.
Oh,
in that.
you know what? I know exactly where I remember him from most of all.
Police
Dark Knight.
commissioner.
Yes,
yeah, the
he
police
was the
commissioner.
mayor.
Dark Knight.
I thought.
Was he the mayor?
I think he was the
police
mayor.
commissioner.
I believe he was the mayor because Gordon was the police commissioner while he was the mayor.
That's right, and then the police commissioner gets killed, and then Gordon becomes commissioner. You're right.
Exactly.
However, he was also, most recently, he's a major character. He's the sheriff on Bates Motel,
Okay.
which he was fantastic in.
Ooh, I heard it was.
But listen up, listen up, nerds. He was Batmanuel on The Tick, the one season of The Tick with...
Really?
Yeah. The sort of, I think in the comics, the character is named Deflatormouse. But they cast Nestor Carbonell, they called him Batmanuel, which is a great name.
That's
He was
fantastic.
really good in it.
And then just some random surrounding characters to get into him. We have Jason Bateman plays like a lawyer, has a horrible cold sore in his mouth,
great.
watching porn in a thong. Oh
Just
my god!
rape him!
Just great
scene.
great
Yeah.
scene. Like great little, just like you could tell like 2 days of shooting, do something wacky,
Yeah.
have fun, and then Matthew Fox popping in as a security guard that gets pretty much just wrecked by the guy who we just talked about,
Nestor Carbonell, yeah.
Nestor Carbonell. Like wow. This movie has everybody.
It goes on and on.
It even has a Wayne Newton cameo,
That is true.
which is hysterical.
But
Best of all,
yeah, this movie
the
is
Tremor Brothers.
It is owned by the Tremor Brothers. They are three sort of skinhead neo-Nazi
Oh my God.
characters who are just out and out 100% anarchists. They're introduced in a flashback doing a job where they go in to a restaurant and they kill everyone in the restaurant. And I think they don't actually kill the guy that they're supposed to
No,
kill.
they kill him on the way out.
Okay, but they kill basically everyone in
Yeah.
the restaurant to kill one guy. It's Chris Pine as Darwin, the sort of the lead character, and Kevin Durand, who is the huge brother.
Yeah, he ended up playing the Blob in the Wolverine
And
movie.
Kevin
Yeah.
Durand is like one of the most underrated guys.
He really is.
He's fantastic in everything I've ever seen him in. Joe Carnahan uses him a lot. James Mangold, who directed Logan recently, like he uses him a ton. He was in the 310 to Yuma movie. He was one of the outlaws.
He was.
He's so good. Use Kevin Durant more, please.
Again, he's a great character. This movie has a lot of just actors that are just so surprising that like they all were a part of this movie.
Yeah.
And then you have Maury Sterling
it's a good
other
script.
brother. We don't really get to know
Maury
too much of
Sterling,
him.
who is also in A-Team. Like I said, this is another guy. Like Joe Carnahan likes to use the same people, so he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's really good. I don't think he has a line in the movie, but
no, he talks about wrestling or something like that with the bigger.
There's
Kevin.
He's got one of the best moments in the movie. Let me just say this, sort of going into this. This is a rather unenviable position we're in because the best characters in this movie are neo-Nazis.
Yes.
And I'm not advocating Nazis
not at all.
in any way, shape, or form.
In fact, they do nothing to signify the fact of neo-Nazism other than the fact that they are skinheads.
Other than they're skinheads and they drive a car with an iron cross on
Yeah.
it. And when the character we were just talking about, Lester, like when he gets out of the car, the first thing he does is take a magic marker and draw a Hitler mustache.
Oh, yes, that is right.
So we can't sort of deny that they're neo-Nazis, but but at the same time, these guys are so good that every moment they're not on screen, I want them on screen.
You know, I think that's something that I will say when we get into our later of the show, that we need more Tremor Brothers.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a sequel or a prequel based on the Tremor Brothers?
They did.
And none of the Tremor Brothers in this movie were in that movie, right?
None of the ones from this, but I think the extended family was, including Michael Parks as the sort of head of the family.
Awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome, but that movie is a total piece of shit. This movie has problems, and we're gonna fix it. But do not see Smokin Aces.
I saw the trailer and I was like, no.
It's like anyway. It
was a direct-to-DVD movie. That's why.
But it's not even that. I mean, you can have a movie show up on DVD and it still be good. It's just that this movie is not one of those movies.
One of the just a quick little sidebar. One of the movies that were like direct to DVD or direct to VOD or whatever like that. Well, I think it was like a Henry Cavill, Bruce Willis movie. Cold Day Night or something like that. Man, I don't know. It was so good.
Yeah.
I'll have to get the actual name.
It's weird
of it.
when you see a movie go like direct to DVD.
Direct to VOD,
and it's got a stellar cast of major stars, and you're like, how is this possible?
Yeah, and obviously it probably had like a limited release type of thing, and then just like, oh, here. Another movie like that. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in a movie called Brick.
Brick came out. That played in theaters.
That did play in theaters?
Oh, yeah.
I never saw it in theaters once.
It was,
limited release.
Yeah, it's an independent film, so it
fair enough. Okay, I stand corrected on that.
It did play here in Vegas, actually.
Then again, we can't talk enough about Chris Pine in this movie. I think he's the best actor in this movie. That has Ryan Reynolds, who actually did a really good job as well.
Ryan Reynolds is great in this movie. I like that. What's great about this movie is that they've sort of cast everyone. Joe Carnahan. I run hot and cold on Joe Carnahan. He seems like one of these like macho kind of like man's man directors. But in the case of this movie, he's cast everyone against their type. Like, Alicia Keys is sort of like a pop star, and like he makes her a brutal killer. And he takes Ryan Reynolds, who is like a really funny, off-the-cuff, improv, jokey guy, and he makes him the most serious character in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that casting sort of falls along, the lines of this film.
If that's done right, I think that brings a lot of humanity to characters.
Absolutely.
Especially with the Ryan Reynolds character. Because every once in a while you do get a cheeky line from Ryan Reynolds that is, that's humorous. That's light.
but not like I'm a funny guy.
Not like Deadpool. He's not spouting line after line after line.
Right.
He has a moment or two where it's like, wow, this character's real. And I think this movie is probably one of the best movies to show an example of, to show people like, hey, you're against type, this is how you do it. This is how a director should take control.
100%. Totally agree with you.
And this is how you cast a movie, in my opinion. Like, there's the foresight of Carnahan. Wow. Yeah. He got, like, everybody in this movie has either gone on to have a long career or is a mega movie star or mega TV star, especially in Henson. She was Cookie on that one show. And then she recently was in that movie Hidden Figures, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
She was in Hustle and Flow. She was like his sort of mousy girlfriend in that. She was like heartbreaking how good she was in that movie.
Wasn't it the same cast that's on that show?
Yeah, that's Terrence Howard, right? And Taraji
That's why they have them. Like that chemistry right there. You can tell. It's really good. And then Ray Liotta is, of course, legendary. Andy Garcia is legendary.
Did you find Andy Garcia's accent to be a little?
Oh, it was horrible.
Okay. I'm not the only one.
All right, Andy Garcia is actually my biggest part of this movie that I would cut out.
Really?
Not because it's Andy Garcia.
Yeah.
but because of some of the things. We'll get into it a little bit later.
Yeah, in fact, you know what?
foreshadowing.
Actually, let's get into part of that plot, because it is part and parcel. Like, we've set up the fact, the main thrust of the movie is all these assassins converging on the Nomad Hotel in Lake Tahoe, where Buddy Aces Israel has holed up.
Yeah, and this is a very R-rated movie.
Oh, yeah,
This is extremely violent. It's fun violence, though.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just outright gore. There was actually, you know what? There's one scene in the movie.
The chainsaw scene.
No, actually, I think that was fun.
Oh, yeah?
Like,
Yeah,
tells you a
kinda
lot
giggle
about me,
over
right?
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giggle over a chainsaw scene. But no, because how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool scene because of how Common got the guy.
Yeah.
You know, it was a setup and like, oh, gotcha. You know, like,
Yeah.
I think
I was
scene,
disappointed with that scene, but anyway.
the scene in the elevator.
Yeah, it's my favorite. One of my, I have it written down here. Two scenes in this movie that are absolutely brilliant. The elevator scene is fantastic.
Oh, the diagnosis of the characters and all that stuff, where Ray Liotta's working out like about this person, and then it just goes to shit.
Yeah,
it's great.
And I love any movie where characters who are pretending to be one thing over another, but they're onto each other, and then they continue to sort of play that part. Like,
oh yeah.
There's a scene, the only good scene in a movie called Road to Perdition. I don't know if you saw this, with Tom Hanks and Daniel Craig.
It's been a while, yeah.
Okay, so it's a 1920s gangster movie.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks' character has to go on the run because these mob bosses think he's going to flip on them. And they call in a specialist to come kill him, and it's Jude Law. And there's a scene in a diner where Jude Law sits down in the diner across from Tom Hanks. Mm-hmm. And they both know who each other are, but they're both lying to each other. It's electric how good it is. But anyway, back to Smokin Aces, because there's a similar scene in the elevator.
No, that was a good example, because I do remember that scene.
Yeah.
That was the only scene,
best scene in the movie.
Remember. Yeah. And what's the other part of this movie that you thought that as well?
Okay, in addition to the sort of main plot we're talking about, Buddy Israel is in fact now going to be a government witness. So he's in constant contact with his lawyer, and they're trying to work out a deal. And the feds will only want to give him protection if he gives up his own crew. So he's having this crisis of conscience where he wants to continue to live, but he doesn't want to think on his own guys. So he eventually does turn on them. He tells the feds, yeah, I'll give you everyone in my crew.
Okay. Are you talking about the Common scene with him and Common?
No. That's a pretty good scene.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
diagnosis of it. Yeah.
But it's a scene without dialogue, where Buddy is staring at himself in the mirror. Buddy is completely coked up and sweaty and gross for the entire movie. And he wears blue contact lenses. And he has one of them out, and he's staring at himself in the mirror, and it keeps cutting sort of back and forth as he's examining his own face, as he's having this crisis of conscience. I think it's the best scene in the movie, honestly.
Right on.
That to me, because we don't get a lot of Buddy as a character, and that's my big failing in the movie. Is we don't get it. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But that scene is visually just beautiful, with the music and the cinematography and Jeremy Piven's performance, just sort of a man alone examining himself in a mirror. I think it's great.
I love there's some really tense moments in this movie. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is near the end when things start to go to shit. You have Ryan Reynolds running up the stairs.
Yes.
And then you have Common, who met up with Alicia Keys' character.
Yeah.
And they're discussing amongst themselves, kind of flirting almost.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and as Ryan Reynolds and Common and Alicia Keys all meet up, there's this really tense moment of Ryan Reynolds is pointing the gun at them, and then Alicia Keys, who's injured, pulls out a gun and points it at Ryan Reynolds and is like, dude, just move on. You can't do this.
Yeah,
it's a great scene. There's
the movie has a bunch of great scenes.
There's things like this in this movie. Joel Egerton.
Yeah.
His now, okay, I have a question actually. Performance-wise, Joel Egerton, he only plays it when it's just the Eastern European guy, right?
No, that's him throughout.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Laszlo Soot, like we've mentioned before, is a master of disguise. So he's trying to infiltrate his way into the Nomad Hotel to get to Buddy. And he has chosen a security guard initially to impersonate. And we get a great scene where he has a recording of the guy's voice, and he's speaking the lines over and over again. He's smoking cigarettes to make his voice more gravelly like the guy. And then into the scene walks Hugo, who's one of Buddy's inner circle, and he kills him and figures, I'll just take over this guy's personality because I'll get right in.
Yeah.
And he creates a latex mask based on...
and that's Joel Egerton playing that character.
Yes.
So let me point out that Joel Egerton shows everything you need to see when he's playing a character that's playing another character.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's a remarkable performance.
And it's not even like a lot of speaking. It's just
it's no speaking at all.
There's no speaking.
He doesn't say anything once he becomes
some of the ticks he has, all in the face and the eyes, man. Wow, what a scene! He comes up to the clubhouse, the penthouse that Buddy's staying in, and he's just walking through the apartment and dealing with some of the things that have come on.
Yeah, and characters are talking to him, and he remains silent.
And he takes care of Beanie, and he goes in to try. And then that's when it builds up into this really tense moment of, all right, we know this guy's an assassin. He's going in to get Israel right now. What's happening?
Great scene.
Great scene. And then, later on, I believe Andy Garcia and a cast of FBI agents comes in and raids that penthouse later on in the movie, right? And then, just to keep on the Joel Edgerton part, there's a scene where he goes in, the raid happens, and he is now hiding. He is confronted, runs away, and then just takes off the mask and is like, no, he went that way, that way, and he just walks out as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And then, like, 10 seconds later, you see him down in the lobby with, like, a black shirt, and it's the actor, Tommy Flanagan.
Yeah.
Like, I love that transition. It was very Ocean's 11-like, where it had, like, this great little, like, aha, I got you moment.
Right.
Like, you know, like, love it.
Performances are, again, across the board.
This movie is really driven by the performances.
Absolutely.
Like, I think there's not even a bad performance in this movie. Maybe Ben Affleck, but what happens to him is kind of hysterical. And I think that's actually my favorite scene in the whole movie.
You know.
I was going to get to it.
I keep saying favorite scenes, but there's a lot. There's a reason we like this movie so much, and there's a reason you should check this movie out.
You're introduced to the Tremor brothers in a flashback where they're going to rob like a restaurant to kill a guy.
Yep.
You're introduced to them in present day when they do it basically.
Well, let me take it back just a second because we learn the back histories of most of these characters through Ben Affleck's character, who is a bail bondsman out of Las Vegas,
and the FBI.
They do cut a lot.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is like just delivering tons of exposition. He does it really great.
Yeah.
He's doing a Chicago accent, which is flawless.
Really?
Yeah. So
take back what I said.
Yeah. So no, it's really good. So he's got his team, and we've spent so much time with them learning about all the other characters that you know they're going to be major characters in this movie.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be like one of the teams that's going to get closest to Israel and grab him.
The long-lasting.
And they're not trying
team.
to kill him.
Yeah.
They're trying to grab him so the bail bonds company can collect on him. One major sequence with these characters, we meet them again when they meet Jason Bateman's character, and then they're off, and they have nomad hotel casino security guard outfits. They're poised. They're ready to go. They're in a parking lot discussing their options when another car pulls up, goes past them,
blaring like heavy metal.
Yeah.
And
then the car slowly backs up, and the window rolls down. Then they annihilate them.
They just get wasted. They just get a straight up just drive-by move. And then
it's the Tremor brothers.
It's the Tremor brothers, and it. I love the introduction, the present-day introduction of the timeline of this movie to these characters with the backdrop of what it's supposed to be Lake Tahoe.
It is Lake Tahoe. Yeah.
Was it filmed there?
Yeah.
Right on, dude. Wow.
I know.
I mean, it could have been easily Canada, but because
could have been anywhere,
Canada,
but evidently Joe Carnahan is actually from Lake Tahoe.
Oh, that's fantastic. Who's not going to want to come and work on a movie at Lake Tahoe?
Oh, man.
That's why he probably got
on the Nevada side. Let's make that clear.
On the Nevada side. All right, so you introduce these characters again in the present time. You have the guy coming out with a little marker, putting a little Hitler stash on him, and then he's wrestling the bigger guy.
And let me just say this. Another thing that I really like about this movie is that Carnahan shoots it, depending on what group we're following, the style changes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So for the Tremor brothers, it takes on, again, these are neo-Nazis. I feel bad saying this, but it's the most beautiful sequences in the movie when he's shooting these guys because he shoots it in a very Sergio Leone style, like wide open spaces, like super close-ups with like an immense amount of space on either side of the screen. The movie's shot in widescreen. I mean, 2:3:3, and like everything is slow and kind of deliberate when we're shooting these guys. It's beautiful.
So after they get wasted, Ben Affleck, Jack Dupree is laying on the ground. Chris Pine walks up to him.
The other best part of this movie, it just goes on and on. This movie is just peopled with amazing scenes.
And basically just, mimes a conversation with a dead character now.
Yeah.
Which, again, shows you
Chris
everything.
Pine is manipulating dead Ben Affleck's mouth, so he's talking, but he's basically ventriloquisting,
like saying,
puppeteering this guy.
Hey, I understand. It's okay. It's beautiful in heaven.
He's
oh my God.
This character is allowing the victim that he's just murdered to like forgive him for the murder. It's oh my god.
Shows everything you need to know about the Trimmer brothers, and it shows everything you need to know about Chris Pine and his acting ability.
Yeah, he's so good. And here's the thing. Chris Pine looks gross. Like, you can smell him from a mile away.
Like he didn't shower for 4 weeks.
It's hard to make somebody look smelly, but they did it. He looks so gross, but his eyes are so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, he's a good-looking man.
He's a very good-looking
He's a very good-looking man. And to make him the way he did... And it's not
he's
even
still
like,
attractive.
And it's not even like a lot of like heavy makeup or any kind of like mask.
He just looks scruffy.
They just made him look dirty, basically, and they did a great job. Kudos to the makeup team.
I would never want to hang out with these guys, but I want to hang out with these guys.
I don't ever want to hang out with these guys. They would probably kill you.
I bet they're a lot of fun.
They would kill you in 10 seconds.
You know.
For fun. For funsies.
Maybe at the end of the night. But I guarantee you the night leading up to your own murder would be a lot of fun.
Maybe. Or they could just be torturing you the whole night.
I don't know. They just seem like regular guys who can recite Mein Kampf like Mother Goose.
What? I know. But Chris Pine is movie, man. Like, I love his... do you want to get into the end of this movie? Because the end of this movie... I actually really enjoy the end of this movie.
I think we're talking about things we like in the movie, so let's go for it.
I think we are. So, Chris Pine's... Well, okay, let me backtrack. So, these 3 guys get offed by the Trimmer brothers, get a drive-by, and then they all get thrown into the lake. One of them lives.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then you get a whole sequence in the movie. We'll talk about the whole sequence a little bit more. But it is Martin Henderson survives, and he shows up in the movie, and he confronts Chris Pine's. What's the name of the Trimmer brother? Darwin Trimmer. And it's, again, a great scene. Like Michael said, it's a scene shot like it's Godfather or whatever. Yeah. Like, just a fun scene, and it's a great interaction between 2 characters that eventually ends with Martin Henderson eventually just saying, like, F it, and shoots the guy anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to, like, kind of let him go. Not really. You know, you saw the contemplation in his mind for, like, a brief second. Then he was like, nah, screw this, and he shoots the guy because he killed all his friends. Love that scene.
And named him.
And named him, yeah, permanently. He's probably going to be, what he said himself, a WMT.
Multiple amputee.
Yeah. Whole movie, man, like, had some just really great moments. And unfortunately, there were some things that were kind of not so great.
Yeah, let's get into the bad right after a commercial word.
Yes.
Has a friend or loved one recently passed away? Did you have unfinished business with them? Something you needed to say or hear? Maybe it's an unresolved dispute. Maybe you never got to say goodbye. Or maybe you just need to hear I love you one more time. If so, we can help. Come on down to Trimmer Brothers Corpse Puppetry. Our corpse puppeteers are the finest in the world, with training in everything from marionettes to bunraku to motorcar. I myself spent years under the tutelage of Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop, so you know you're in good hand. Haha, little joke there, but what's not a joke is the service we provide. You need to hear your daddy is proud of you? You will. Still craving the gentle tones of your grandma? Crave no more. And you can rest assured we will treat them corpses with utmost respect and dignity. No diddling the deceased here. That's guaranteed. So come on down to Trimmer Brothers Corpse Puppetry, where we speak for the dead.
All right, to keep on going into the review of the film, I know there's some problems in this movie that I think we both would like to address.
Yeah.
Not enough Trimmer brothers. I think we can just both agree on that one.
Yeah. There's also, I sort of got into it a little bit before, but in addition to the main plot of all of these characters converging on Buddy Aces Israel in order to kill him, there is a second plot going on where we get a brief history of an undercover agent infiltrated the mob back in the 40s. And this is a guy who underwent extensive plastic surgery named Freeman Heller. He was eventually exposed and killed by Primo Speranza, who is the mob boss who is putting out the hit on Buddy as the film progresses. And then this pays off in a huge way in the end.
Yes.
The movie is in an oblique way working towards this finale where we discover that Primo Speranza is in fact Heller.
Heller, the FBI agent.
The FBI agent. So the FBI, they believe that Heller is dead and that Primo Speranza killed him. And then late in the game, it's revealed that Heller is alive, Heller is Speranza, and because of that, they're going to allow Speranza to live. They cancel their deal with Buddy Israel, because they no longer need him, because now they have Speranza, who has 70 years worth of mob secrets that they want their hands on. And
as opposed to what Buddy Israel can offer, which is like 20, 30 years or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
if that. And it's also revealed that Buddy Israel is in fact Speranza's son, and
Yes.
the reason that Speranza wants his heart is because his own heart is failing, and because his son has a match, genetically, that his heart will be an organ transplant.
Yeah, because they share blood.
So the FBI is now going to be complicit in the killing of Buddy Israel in order to give this guy his heart so that they can get all the secrets of the mob in the past.
Well, isn't Buddy Israel like kind of a death's door anyway, or is he just in an induced coma?
No, they induce the coma.
They induce the coma.
Yeah.
The Swede, as they call him, is
the Swede.
induced the coma.
Right.
Which
the
is
Swede is a character who they keep mentioning in the movie where we believe he's another assassin who's coming in, but it turns out he's a heart doctor from Switzerland.
This movie does something that, as great as it is at times, it reveals, in my opinion, it reveals too much information on some things, and then doesn't give enough information on other things.
Yeah.
It's a little hit or miss when it comes to that. Like, this Swede, for example, was a reveal that didn't need to be a reveal. Okay, he's a doctor or something.
Yeah.
And you can allude to the fact that this doctor might be a hired assassin or something like that. But as far as like the reveal, it wasn't much of a reveal. It was like, oh, he's a doctor. It all ties in. Okay, whatever.
Because
Like,
we've seen nothing of him.
it doesn't matter. What it could have been is just that Speranza's ordering is sending for his doctor, who's a Swede, and we didn't need to know, like, oh, he's also might be an assassin.
Right.
It was something that was really pointless. But what they did do, and they revealed too much information of, is that there's this scene, probably like in the bottom middle of the movie, where FBI director is driving, and he's looking through this file. Mm-hmm. And in this file, you, if you're paying attention, can easily make the connections that, oh, the guy they talk about in the beginning of this movie, Speranza, killed Heller, is not actually a different person. It's the same guy.
Right.
Like, you could get some sort of allusion to the fact that this twist at the end of the movie where Speranza is Heller, Heller Speranza, is really just shown off in this middle scene.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, some people might not, grasp it, but if you're paying attention to the movie, and you really are, like, maybe not in your first viewing.
You know what?
Yeah,
That's the thing. I didn't catch it during my first viewing of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I did not put the pieces together that Speranza was Heller.
Well, I knew something was up with Speranza once that scene happens.
Right.
And then when you review it again the second time, I don't think it's a great reveal like, say, like The Sixth Sense, where
what they want at the end of
so
this movie
heavy-handed.
is they want it to be the usual suspects.
Yeah.
They want this moment of like breathtaking reveal, and it's completely unearned.
Yeah, I think this ending of the movie actually kind of falters, and a lot of this
100%, because we're on board for a movie that's about all of these assassins trying to get this guy and watching them in their various techniques and ways doing it, and then we kind of get all of that in a rush. And then we're left with this FBI are complicit in the death of somebody to protect one of their own. And I gotta say, like, they're gonna keep Speranza Heller alive because they want all of his information. But the opening of the movie gives us a title card saying that La Cosa Nostra are finished.
No.
So what do they need any of this information for?
It was some really odd stuff that and it wasn't even like they had a for sure chance that this guy's gonna take the heart transplant, like, take it as in, like, he's going to survive it.
Guy's like 90 years old.
And they said, and Ryan Reynolds' character even says, you're going to go off a maybe. This maybe might happen.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, this whole point of this movie, once you kind of know what's happening, it ruins it in later viewings because it's so heavy-handed in the beginning of the film, and it's so heavy-handed in the middle of the film with this whole scene of Andy Garcia. Like, ooh, why is he reading this thing? Oh, that's why. Like, there was no, like,
who gives him the file?
motive. Like, yeah, exactly.
The file shows up, and it's like, who sent it?
Like, it would have been a great reveal to hold all that information till the end. Wait a second. It's like the Finkel and Einhorn in Ace Ventura. You didn't call that.
Yeah.
Like, they could have done something very similar to that, where it's like, no, actually, this is Heller. Mm-hmm. Instead of, well, hey, you know the kind of mystery we're poking at? Yeah, by the way, Heller and Speranza are the same guy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, it misses.
It
really misses.
It's a good idea for a whole other movie.
It really is. I don't know. Like I said, all the twists that are supposed to be twists, you already know what's going to happen.
Right. Another scene you did not like in the movie.
Oh, a scene you didn't like in the movie? There was this scene with this stupid kid with an eye patch,
dude,
that was like fighting with kung fu and he got like this massive erection.
Yeah,
I did not need that.
Martin Henderson's character, one of the 3 bail bondsmen who gets attempted assassination by the Tremor brothers, ends up in Lake Tahoe. He recovers, pulls himself out of the lake, crawls his way through the forest, happens upon a cabin where a grandmother and her grandson, the grandson's probably like 12 or 13 years old.
It's the worst.
And he's dressed in a karate gi, he has an eye patch on, and he talks like he's some sort of hip-hop kid.
Oh, it's the worst. It takes away from the movie. It takes me out of this movie.
Yeah.
For everything that was so cool, this 12-year-old little shit.
Yeah.
And the grandmother's weird too. Like,
yeah.
This was an unnecessary part of the movie.
She's a former nurse, and she patches him up, and like, yeah,
cool.
Whatever. Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
To get that character to where he is in the film, you do not need this at all.
Right.
It's a bad part of the movie.
Yeah.
It truly is. I think you have another part where Buddy Israel, right? You're set up to care about Buddy Israel.
Right.
This is the quote unquote the main character, I would say.
Right.
Is his story is what it's pushing the plot. The last 10-15 minutes of the movie, he's on a gurney, like hooked up.
Yeah.
You don't get enough of his story, I would say, the resolution of him.
I agree.
I would have been one thing if he chose to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
which he almost did, and I thought was going to be a great moment if he did it.
But like, there wasn't,
like, everyone's trying to kill him, and nobody does it, and he does it himself.
He doesn't do anything. I think that's the problem. This whole movie, you're set up to really judge or to see what this character ends up with this character, and it really goes down with a whimper.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even explained to it in through Buddy Israel. You're explained to it through Andy Garcia, who's a side character,
right?
Who's talking to one of the main characters.
There's a lot of characters giving us exposition.
You're like, man, like. But like with Ben Affleck in the
beginning
beginning of the movie,
yeah, because we need to know where we are, and we need to know who the players are.
It's a world-building exercise where you give exposition at the beginning of the movie, and then in the movie, show us.
Right.
Like, show us the decision.
Yeah,
there wasn't
exactly to go. You know, you can forgive exposition as dialogue if it sets the plot in motion, and then you go from there. But to like grind everything to a halt and give us more at the very end, it's just like it feels like a betrayal.
It ruins the movie. I have this thing. When a movie has a bad ending, or an ending I don't essentially agree with, it's hard for me to rewatch.
I agree.
And I think that can apply to... I don't like rewatching movies that have bad endings. But a movie like The Dark Knight Rises, which is not a great film, but in my mind has a really solid ending, I can rewatch again because, at least I'm ending on a good note.
Yeah, but you got to get through all that shit.
Yeah, you do. But I can rewatch it because I know it resolves well.
Yeah, but I can watch this movie because if you stop watching the movie as soon as all the mayhem at the Nomad Hotel happens, like,
but that's the problem.
Still good.
That's the problem in my opinion, though.
I agree. Look. I'm not saying this is a good ending. I'm saying this is a bad ending. But I'm more apt to watch a movie that has the first 2 acts are really good and the third act falls apart than I am a movie that has 2 horrible fucking acts and then the third act is...
See, I'm more inclined to like enjoy a movie more and want to rewatch it if it has a solid ending because I feel resolved. Like, I went through all this shit. Cool, I got a great resolution. You know, and I think that's a lot of character arcs are the same way, where it's like, man, this character really sucks. Oh, he redeemed himself at the end. And that's how I feel some movies do. It's like, you know, this movie redeemed itself with its ending. Like, The Dark Knight Rises is a perfect example. Like, the movie was hit or miss a lot through that movie. But in my mind, the ending was one of the better endings I've seen on a comic book movie. And probably the best ending from a Nolan movie. Like, just in comparison to the Dark Knight.
Maybe
the last 10 minutes
of the Dark Knight movies.
The 10 minutes of The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Well, with Two-Face?
The Two-Face is horrible.
That's okay.
No, dude, come on. They took one of the most iconic Batman villains.
Look, I'm not saying they didn't waste Two-Face as a character.
And they ruined that character. And then
I think that ending is more satisfying.
And then
the
exposition by Bruce Wayne in that film at the end of that Dark Knight. That's why I think Dark Knight Rises is a better ending of a film, and why I can rewatch it. Whereas I can't keep watching Dark Knight over and over again unless I just want to watch. Oh my God, Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
And I think there's other movies that do that too. The newest James Bond.
Yeah.
That movie has has a fun beginning, really slow middle, but I enjoyed the ending of that film with that great actor who's in everything. Christoph Waltz. I enjoyed the ending.
Yeah.
Like, and it made it redeemed that movie to me, whereas I thought I was going to walk away like not so happy about it.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to the great ending and great film that is Skyfall. Well, at least in my opinion.
Okay.
You have a movie in Spectre where this is okay. Oh, cool. All right, good ending. Like, you know, like I felt resolved with that ending, whereas like some like Quantum of Solace has one of the worst endings for a James Bond movie.
That's a bad movie.
Exactly. Beginning and end. There's no redeeming quality to that movie.
Right.
There's nothing in that movie that leads to redemption. And
I honestly, Holden, I can't think of a movie where I hated it and then the ending was good, and then I'll like go back and watch that movie.
I just gave you one, Spectre.
Spectre. I disagree with you. I thought that movie was terrible. It's terrible. The end of that movie is I'm your brother. I mean, what?
I liked it.
Oh, so bad. Mom loved you best. That's the end of that movie.
That's another one. Ghostbusters 2.
Terrible movie.
It's a bad movie, but the ending's fun.
No, the ending is worse than the rest of the movie.
The
I hate the ending of that movie.
What?
Yeah, the whole.
Oh my god.
The unearned Statue of Liberty walking. Ugh. Gross.
It was fun. It was an homage to the previous movie.
Yeah.
Come on.
No. Nope. Bad beginning to end there, man.
Oh well. Well, that's just how I see it. Like,
so let's just say the ending of Smoking Aces is not great.
No, it's not great.
But
really
you would watch this movie again, right?
I will not watch it again. Actually,
after this.
No, but what I mean to say when I have this rule, I guess you would say, when it comes to bad endings versus good endings. If a movie has a bad ending, I'm least likely to rewatch it that day or that next week.
Sure.
But I'll eventually, if there's some great qualities, I will rewatch it later on.
Yeah.
Like a couple months. It's not something I want to watch right away. Whereas like a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 has a great ending. Like most of the exposition happens in that. Most of the narrative happens in the third act of that movie.
Yeah.
But it's really fun and it ends really well and there's a great resolve at the end of that film.
It's got a great ending.
And it makes me want to rewatch it. Same thing with the first movie of Guardians. Same thing with
yeah, but those are good movies throughout.
Okay, but again, it's I'm talking specifically about like endings. If an ending is really good, I'll rewatch.
Yeah, but you're mentioning movies that are good throughout, so it's like, yeah, of course you want to watch that movie because you had a good time from beginning to end.
Die Hard 2? I didn't like Die Hard 2 very much until the end.
I like Die Hard 2.
Oh my god. Die Hard 3, same thing.
Oh, I think I like Die Hard till you get to the ending. The scene where they're on the bridge and like lowering themselves onto that ferry, I check out immediately. Like I'm just like, why is Samuel Jackson even with him at that point?
I mean, come on.
It makes no sense, man. That ending is so bad. And then they like go to Canada. Like, I was with that movie too throughout.
All right, Chronicles of Riddick. The ending of that movie where he gets the guy and he ends with a scene where he's on the throne, and you have this moment where he looks up and he has a whole army.
That's pretty great.
The movie's bad.
Yeah.
But the ending's bad. It's amazing. So I can watch that movie and rewatch that movie and with the Riddick movies, and I can enjoy it, whereas I can't enjoy a movie that, like, if that didn't happen at the end of the movie, there's no rewatchability in that movie.
All right, I'll buy that.
All right.
Here's something I didn't like.
Oh, yes. I was about to say, what else don't you like about Smokin' Aces?
There's a scene where Alicia Keys and Taraji P. Henson are arriving at the Nomad Hotel. Now, their plan is that Buddy Ace's Israel has prostitutes up every single night. So Alicia Keys is going to dress as a prostitute and blend in with them. When they're checking in, the latest group of prostitutes is checking out. And Taraji P. Henson goes on a rant to the female clerk about how demeaning that is as women and blah, 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 blah. It's a bullshit character moment that they've written for this character that calls attention to characters who are trying to stay under the radar. It bugged the shit out of me.
You know, okay.
Because they're assassins who are just trying to stay low-key and whatever. And here she is ranting in the middle of a lobby about it. If she had ranted to Alicia Keys when they got on the elevator on their way up to the room, I'd be like, okay, I can kind of get it.
Yeah, I could see that. Kind of like pull a scene where they're in the elevator, she's talking about it, and I'll buy that. And I do agree. I think what they tried to do is play it up a humorous moment of the awkwardness.
Yeah.
And it really does.
Because
it falls flat
because Taraji P. Henson's character is in love with Alicia Keys.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Great scene.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, at one point Taraji P. Henson thinks that Alicia Keys is dead, and she goes mental and starts blasting everybody.
Yeah, and it affects the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and here's another thing that bugged me. When Taraji P. Henson, before the Alicia Keys, before she thinks she's dead, she's taking out FBI guys on the floor that Alicia Keys is pinned down in.
Yeah.
And these guys are firing back at her with pistols. She's in a whole other tower of the hotel shooting with a .50 caliber.
I thought she was in a completely separate hotel, to be honest with you.
Because they check in at the
Nomad.
At the Nomad.
All right.
So she's in a different tower and she's blasting these guys, and they're like firing randomly back at her.
Yeah.
without knowing where she is, and all I can think is all of the people in those rooms and that side of the hotel are getting killed by FBI guys.
Well, they're getting shot at. You can't necessarily say killed.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, who are they
damage.
shooting? They're just like randomly shooting out the window.
You know, that kind of brings up a point of why did she move? She moved to just see where Georgia was, right?
Yes.
I see.
She lost her line of sight, so she went to another room.
The first time I saw it, I thought, oh, she's getting fired upon. That's why she's moving. No, it's because she lost her line of sight on her
well,
love.
either reason is good to move.
Yeah. And, and I didn't like how she was taken out of the movie.
I didn't either.
Like, I felt like she deserved a full scene.
Yeah.
For one, because she brought it. She deserved her own scene where she was killed, like on screen, whereas you just assume she was captured.
Yeah, because you can hear the gunshots.
Or even give her a shot where she's in jail or arrested or something.
Or something.
Because all you see is her.
I wanted her to get away.
Yeah, me too. I wanted her to get away, and I wanted her to kind of confront Common, because I think that would be hysterical. And then have Alicia Keys have a character moment.
I would much rather her character survive than either Alicia Keys or Common, honestly.
Well, I mean, I think
they were okay. I mean, they were pretty good characters.
I think Common is a pretty good actor, and this is like his first role, right?
Yeah, this is the first time.
And then
Alicia Keys as well.
He's done other things. I'm surprised she hasn't done more. Actually, I thought she was pretty good too.
Yeah, I cannot stand her music, but I liked her in this movie.
Well, she obviously has a passion for her music.
Yeah.
So that's why she probably doesn't act as much. But I think she was actually a really good actress. She's been in a few other things, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't honestly recall.
I'm not going to seek out an Alicia Keys performance.
Fair. But Common was on that interesting show. He played on Hell on Wheels.
Oh, yeah.
His character in that show was fantastic. And
he was in Suicide Squad.
He was in Suicide Squad as like a...
Monster P.
Like, talk about a wasted character.
I know, dude.
Like,
I heard he was going to be in it. I heard he was going to be a villain. Got excited trying to figure out what DC character he was going to be, and he was no DC character.
It was like the rumored Scott Eastwood.
Yeah,
Scott Eastwood's in that movie, right?
Yes, he is. He's one of the.
And he's nothing.
Yeah.
He's just a bystander, but he gets blown up at the end of that movie.
Right, but I mean, he blows himself up.
He does blow himself. He's sacrificed.
It's kind of a moment.
But regardless, you have Common in that Suicide Squad. You thought he was going to be something because he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing that he wasn't.
Right.
He should have been Killer Croc or
totally.
something. Like, damn.
I know.
Whatever.
Oh, anyway.
All right, enough of that crap movie.
All right, let's make this movie better.
All right, yes. Things that we can fix. So of the problems that we've listed and talked about, what's something that you think you can fix?
I think the easiest way to fix this movie is actually just remove the entire Heller-Speranza subplot.
Really?
Yeah, I would. I think it's an interesting subject for another movie. I think having a character maybe infiltrating the mob, trying to figure out, who this Speranza guy is, or trying to take him down, and then finding out that he's actually an FBI guy, and there's this sort of crisis of conscience about that. Like that would make an interesting movie.
It does feel like there's two movies in one here.
This was not that movie.
Yeah.
This movie is about a bunch of insane assassins trying to kill one guy.
Yeah.
Taking all of that out would probably improve the movie. Which isn't to say that this movie is bogged down. This movie is nearly 2 hours, and it feels like a freight train. It's really fast.
Oh, it's really fast until the end.
Yeah, at the end it slows down to a crawl.
Yeah, once the whole they leave the setting of the Nomad, it goes to a crawl.
Yeah, and why did we ever leave the Nomad?
And it's not worth watching. Actually, if your scenario holds true, I think they would be better suited just to end them. Just have one location, everything at the Nomad, and then, and as soon as they leave the Nomad, the movie ends.
Right, and again, like Buddy killing himself there would have been a great ending.
Well, okay, I was about to ask that. Would you leave it ambiguous? How would you do it? Would you do it where Buddy Israel kills himself?
Yeah.
Or maybe he just dies because he overdoses on cocaine or something?
No, I think I would have had him shoot himself and robbing all of these assassins of their prize.
I could see that. I could also see something where he was accidentally killed by Common or something on the way out.
Or maybe have the FBI kill him accidentally.
Yeah.
Another thing, how would you fix it?
The problem I have with this movie, again, was something we talked about. One of the problems I'm addressing is something we brought up was the fact that they had this subplot of Heller and Speranza. I thought if this is something that they are going to do, because it is tied into the whole movie. It's from beginning to end.
Yeah.
If this was something that was going to be tied in, I feel like Ryan Reynolds' character, at the end of the movie, he pulls the plug on those two guys. And by the two guys, I mean Buddy and Speranza. They should have stopped him. I think that would have been a cool ending, because it would have brought this whole different twist to a fun movie where you're actually making a commentary on tough choices in the FBI, tough choices in government, and things that people don't normally see behind the scenes of what goes down in an FBI mission. So maybe even in if I'm bringing up a whole scenario about it now, you start the movie off where it's more focused on Ryan Reynolds and Ray Liotta's character, on Andy Garcia a little bit more. Take out that stupid scene in the middle where it shows you everything of what the hell they're in and stuff like that.
Right.
So you take that out and you follow Ryan Reynolds and Ray Liotta a little bit more, so you learn to really like these guys. You get why Ryan Reynolds is so devastated because it's his partner. You get why that this is his job. He is the FBI. And then you have this whole background of all these assassins, all these crazy things to add color and flavor to a movie that's about a man who's losing his partner. And what does this man do at the end of the movie? Now, there's two different ways you can end it. You can end it where he does the thing he does.
Right. They may make him a hero.
Make him kind of a sort of a hero, but a villain in the context of the FBI.
Right.
What they should have done is have him just go back to do his normal job. It would have been sad as hell.
Yeah.
And I think
it would have been much more poignant.
And much more poignant.
They wanted to make the ending poignant,
yes.
and your ending actually is
and
much
I think
better.
if they tie into it more with the FBI stuff, and they have this really poignant ending, you have a movie at the end of it, you're just shocked.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what to do with yourself, because you were expecting this fun movie, and then all of a sudden you got this crazy commentary on how decisions are made in the FBI, how these really tough life or death decisions, and now he has to go on and live his normal life back in Washington D.C.
Yeah, and they could even on top of that have him have a moment where he quits the FBI, and it would be just as heroic as pulling the plug.
Yeah, absolutely. And
like looking around at everything he's doing, and everything's sad and depressing to him now, and it's just like, you know what, none of this is worth it.
Well, I feel like the movie had the original movie had a cool ending with the pulling the plugs and the song starts up. It wasn't good. It was cool. It was not good.
Right.
It was stylish.
Yeah.
It wasn't the ending
satisfying.
And there could have been probably a more fun ending, but with the story they're providing for us, I really would enjoy this ending much more.
I agree with you.
And it would be a movie maybe I want to watch again because of how cold it makes you feel at the end.
Sure. But you know what? I guarantee
it would have been a better movie.
I guarantee you would want to watch that movie
because
more.
It's so impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Some minor things you would want to take out.
Let me give you a different scenario.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
That I also think would have made the movie better, which is I would have taken out the Ray Liotta character, like if we're doing a whole other thing.
Okay.
Because Buddy is already under police protection, let's actually have him under police protection, and I would put Ryan Reynolds' character with Buddy.
Okay.
Because I don't feel like we get enough of Buddy as a character, and I don't feel like we get enough of Ryan Reynolds as a character. So if we put those two guys together, and Ryan Reynolds is tasked with protecting this guy, then we could have more interaction with those two guys. We'd learn a lot more about them. And so if at the end, whoever has come to kill him, like, it would affect Ryan Reynolds much better. You know what I mean? Like, we have this Ray Liotta character who we only get like a couple of scenes. We only really get like one or two scenes with him and Ryan Reynolds, and it's all exposition. So it's not like we're getting to see these guys like palling around or whatever.
Which is why I said what I did about building into that characters more.
So I think if you had the Ryan Reynolds character, like, who maybe doesn't like Buddy Israel because he's a criminal and all these things, and like over the course of the movie learns to actually appreciate who the guy is, and vice versa. So when it comes down to it and he's got to die, like, it could be a little bit more impactful. I think it would just streamline the movie. And it might take it, maybe I'm combining this with the otother thing. Like, if you took out the Speranza plot entirely, other than Speranza's this guy who wants him dead, and then you have Ryan Reynolds sort of palling around with him while he's protecting him, like, I don't know, it could have made it more of the bottle movie that I think we both kind of wanted.
Oh, yeah, if it was
set the whole thing at the Nomad.
Yeah. I actually, while you're talking about this is going to be a little bit more spitball.
Yeah.
But, because I didn't write anything down about this, what I think, and I apologize to Mr. Flanagan about this, I think what you should do is eliminate the character of Flanagan completely. Make Laszlo Soot actually Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, there you go.
So, because they describe Soot as a guy who kind of just blends in, who can be disguised, who always gets away. You can never tell who he is.
That would be a great twist.
That would be a great twist.
That would be the twist that Carnahan was looking for in the movie.
where Soot and Ryan Reynolds is the same.
Right. So then we get a flashback near the end where we see the scene where he replaces Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
And like at that point,
Absolutely.
we thought it was Ryan Reynolds throughout.
Not even the fact that you have to have them replaced. Make them one and the same. Make Ryan Reynolds the actual character, and this idea you have was a mask that he's wearing when he's working his assassin chops. So because he's so good at these,
We fixed this movie,
dude. How rad would that have been?
That would have been great.
That's just something that you were talking about. I was like, oh my god, it popped in my head. Like that, what a twist that would have been.
That would have been great.
That like now
they fend off every single assassin trying to kill him,
and then
Ryan Reynolds kills him. Oh.
And then he gets the money, and you take away the stupid heart story.
Yeah.
Like where it's the Swede and all that stuff.
Totally.
I mean, you could just bring the Swede in as another assassin, or as a funny joke assassin, where it's like, "Hi, I'm the Swede," or whatever his name is. I'm a doctor. He poses as a doctor. He's actually an assassin.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Reynolds, that's like the last guy.
Yeah.
Who they're like, "Oh, help save my friend." Oh no, he's about to kill him. And then after you get rid of the Swede, there's some exposition talk with Buddy and Ryan, and then all of a sudden it's bam.
Good.
Like the end of the movie.
We did it again.
Credits. Yeah, right. No, I don't know if we helped the Pirates movie so much. I think it was just
that's because it was a big sprawling thing.
God,
there were too many threads.
But this movie, if that had one of those 3 endings, so much better. Some minor things I would cut out of this movie, just to improve the movie in general. Mm-hmm. And this require no rewriting. This requires nothing at all. That would really be...
Somebody could YouTube in,
and we could probably get a fan edit of this movie and make it better. Get rid of the kid and the grandma.
Yeah, it needs to go. The Martin Henderson character in general needed to have died.
Just get rid of it.
Scene. Yeah.
Have Chris Pine walk out to his... I
wanted Chris Pine to get away. I'm not advocating neo-Nazis.
No,
but, shit happens and villains get away with shit, No,
I could see it, and just have it end where he's walking to his car in the not the security outfit, in the FBI outfit.
You know what?
And that stops there.
Here's how they should have ended that. He fucking runs into Taraji P. Henson and they kill each other. How about that? It would be a little more satisfying than her getting randomly shot by a bunch of cops.
Well, you don't even see her get randomly shot. That's what I'm talking about.
But you hear it. I mean, you hear
gunshots.
They show the cops converging on her, and then they cut to Chris Pine in the thing, and you can hear gunshots in the background. So maybe she died, maybe she didn't. But we didn't get any resolution.
Love to have had Chris Pine's character go off and just ride off in the sunset.
Yeah.
Because how horrible he is. It's a thing where it's like, wow, there's horrible people in this world, and every horrible person does not get the just desserts.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
And you know what? Because I mentioned earlier how much they framed it in sort of a Sergio Leone kind of a way. Like, let's have him ride off into the sunset. Like, who knows what he's going to end up doing.
Exactly. It would be great. And I don't really... I think we've pretty much fixed this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other things you would want to fix? Maybe just quick things that you would help the movie out?
No.
I think that's it. We don't really have too many hopes or anything with this franchise.
No, I mean, they're not... they made another movie and it was garbage.
They did, and they're not going to really continue it past here. But, as far as,
Go Joe Carnahan. Dude, make another movie and make it good and lay off, what a badass you are.
Thank you for listening to our show. Follow us and our Startup Podcast on Facebook on We'll Take It From Here. It's a group fan page, or you can check us out via email on wtifhs@gmail.com, or also by that same handle on Twitter and Instagram. My name is Holden, a.k.a. Cuban Thor.
And this is Father Malone, also known as Michael.
Thank you, patron saint of podcasting, Captain Cold, and good night.
Say catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
Awesome.